So Jim Ratcliffe's message is clear. The glory days are coming back to Manchester United. I got a bit tongue-twisted then just thinking about glory days coming back to United. Hello, everyone. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along to today's live show. We're talking Sir Jim Ratcliffe's message. The glory days are coming back to Manchester United. Cue Bruce Springsteen's music. Oh, forget it. I was going to start singing and everything, but I've blown it all completely out. Sorry, guys. I got myself completely tongue-twisted. Whether it be the weekend and football coming back and the excitement about talking about other things other than Jadon Sancho and Tony Martial, I just think it's that, really. I'm looking forward to the weekend. The FA Cup weekend is always a big one, so yeah, stay tuned. There's loads coming up on here on FUTV and Top of the League also. But yeah, we're getting into United, the news, everything that's come out from yesterday's meetings and the week's meetings, really. So David Brailsford's message, Stephen Ratcliffe's message, the staff, how they're feeling about it, and of course, the most important thing, are you taking it seriously? Is it a false dawn? Do you think Manchester United are going to get back to that top table under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos and everything that comes with their sporting control at Manchester United? Hope you're all fantastic, guys. Hope everyone is looking forward to the weekend. I am. Like I said, FA Cup, bit different. DW Stadium on Monday. Don't forget to tune in to us. We have extra content coming up on Monday for you guys. Something else in the day and obviously the watch along and everything else after the game and the usual match day protocol. But into the news, the immediate news. Some would say that the Jadon Sancho deal is done. In fact, some would say, here we go. You got that one wrong, didn't you, son? Yes, no, Jadon Sancho's deal is not complete yet. It is going to happen, but anyone who is telling you that the deal is done, dusted, is wrong. He obviously is still a Manchester United player and everything has still got to be finalised yet. Martial's situation, a lot of the media outlets going back on what was said yesterday. We did say yesterday that Sky got a lot to answer to regarding that Martial news. That's a bit laughable as well. Again, jumping the gun. Not getting all the facts straight, not reading into it, like of course we did here on FUTV, as we do with everything. We give you a bit more context and detail, that's what it's all about. But most importantly, guys, your opinions on everything that happened yesterday, that conspired. We're getting into the comments mainly, first of all, today on Sir Jim Ratcliffe and everything that's gone down at Manchester United. I think it's only fair that I actually started reading through everything that was said, or quotes that have come out of the meetings that have happened at Carrington and Old Trafford. We've all seen the pictures now. It looks positive. Ten Hag had his say in the press conference yesterday. And he said everything was positive. Everything looked good. Yes, smiles and pictures can tell you one story. Behind the scenes, it can be a completely different other story. So, yeah, let's get into what actually went down. So, straight away, I'm going to get through everything. The Athletic mainly covered all of this last night. But if you guys haven't read it or if you've not heard what was actually coming out, then it's quite clear, really. It's all positivity. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has told MUFC staff that he is not concerned about making money from his investment and instead solely wants to return the club to winning the biggest trophies. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Brailsford are understood to have given the same message in a series of meetings with staff over the past 3 days, making it clear that Manchester United's on-field performances in recent years have been unacceptable, and that they will demand a return to the world-class standards set during Sir Alex Ferguson's era at Manchester United. Jim Ratcliffe also acknowledges Manchester United's commercial resilience throughout the pandemic, but made it clear that silverware is a greater gauge of success and everyone should be focusing on that. Sources described it as liberating. There's more to come, but we'll get into them first few comments first of all, guys, and get your thoughts on that. Are you feeling confident from the messages and the noises coming out of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's trip to Old Trafford and Carrington this week? He is solely setting his sights on Manchester United, bringing back the glory days, the trophies, competing for the Premier League, the Champions League. This is their sole aim at the football club. The investment isn't about business. It's not about what money's going to come back to Ineos. Different to what I've said before, and it's kind of shut me up. Obviously, we'll see in time, won't we? But I always said I can't see a businessman like Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in to Manchester United and not expecting any return on his investment. I don't think he will be going into this solely for what's been said. I could be wrong. I'll hold my hands up gladly if Manchester United are going to be competing and the sole purpose of Ineos is all about the football and bringing back trophies. I will take that in open arms and gladly take the L. But I do think the investment side has to be there. I mean, you can't invest over 1.3 billion and not expect something back, surely. It's not the way that they do business. And then you look on the other side of it for me and you go, and I was having this conversation with Kaz, and she brought up the point of saying, you know what, he's into his 70s now. Maybe he's just a United fan coming in, wanting to just finish off, it's a horrible thing to say, but finishing off his whole career, his life, everything. One of his biggest achievements being bringing Manchester United back to the glory days, just to finish everything off. Obviously, he's not got many years left, you would assume, to live. I'm not jumping the gun here, and it sounds really horrible for me to be talking about this, but you have to sort of look at it like he's getting on a little bit now. Maybe he just wants to go out with a bang. Again, that doesn't sound right, does it? But you know what I'm getting at, don't you? He wants to actually make Manchester United being great again his biggest accomplishment in life, is what we're getting to. And there is no greater accomplishment. There is no greater underperforming franchise, enterprise, whatever you want to call Manchester United. It's been named a few different things since the Glazers have took over. But whichever way you look at it, it fits into the model of Ineos, taking over struggling businesses, enterprises, whatever they may be, sporting, business, and trying to make them great again. You could argue the sporting side of things, some of the outfits they've taken over have gone worse since they've taken over, but if he does want to go out with a bang and does want to finish off everything that he's accomplished in his life by making Manchester United great again, I'm sure every single Manchester United fan would be, yeah, we're all in for that one. We're all in for that, definitely. But like I've said, I'm still sceptical. I do believe that message is true. I do believe it's from the heart, and that is what they want to do. They are competing against the best that there is right now. The best teams in Europe are in the Premier League, without doubt. Obviously, Manchester City have just won everything. If there was one great sporting achievement, it would be taking Manchester United from the brink of the depths of despair, which is where we are now, mid-table fodder, average crap football team that was once great, to start competing and overtaking Manchester City again. That has to go down as one of the greatest achievements in sporting history, because right now Manchester United are a million miles away. And some people will say, oh no, it's not one of the greatest sporting achievements. Well, when you break everything down, you look at the finances and everything that City have got and where they are now, which is the best. For Sir Jim Ratcliffe to turn it around in his time, that would take a monumental effort, which is why I've put the poll up in the chat already, guys. How long under Ineos until Manchester United are competing at the highest level again? If next season, 7%, 2 or 3 years, 28%, 3 to 5 years, 41%, even longer, saying 24%. We're going to let that poll run through the first part of the show, so get your votes in, guys, on that one. Let me know what you think. How long do you think this takeover and turnaround and new era at Manchester United is going to really take to start reaping its rewards, is what I will say. And don't forget to also, guys, while you're in here, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're tuning for the first time. I'm Adam, Forever United TV. We are top dogs. We are moving forward. We are getting bigger and bigger and better as we go along. I've just put a community post up about our new store opening up as well for some merch as well, guys. So check out the community post. The link is there. The link is also in the description below, guys, as well. We had a bit of fun with it. We thought it was the right time to do it, and now it's there. And yes, I'm just loving how far we're moving forward with everything. Well, let's get into some of the chat regarding Sir Jim Ratcliffe straight away and what was said yesterday. It's an important one, and I want to know what you guys are actually thinking. I usually go on for about 20-30 minutes, but I want to engage the room straight away. Seeing as Ineos are in for the Jan window, they need to show us by the end of the summer window what they are about. Well, obviously, there's more to read, and I'll get onto that actually, G96U. There is more on terms of when Ineos are actually taking over. I'll get through a few more of your chats first and then get into that next, I think. Football ain't that complicated. Get good, hard-working players and a good manager, but then again, the simplest things can be the hardest. It would seem that way with United. It would, perhaps. I think that is definitely a description of Manchester United right there over the last 10 years in what you said in that comment. The only way Sir Jim Ratcliffe would ever get a return on his investments is if he ever sells the club, and that's really unlikely. We'll see. he may just be in it for the glory days. That might be it. He may be just thinking of this fairy tale end for Manchester United, bringing back them days, them European nights at Old Trafford. You never know. We may bring back a better match day experience. He may fill Old Trafford with optimism again, because that is lacking at the moment, big time. Really is lacking. I'm there every single game, and it's the deadest I've ever known it. It's worse than Ole and Jose right now, Old Trafford. That's how bad it is. Ratcliffe wants to live in Salford next to the Keys, apparently. I don't know about that, Sat. I don't know. I've not even read that. I don't think you're going to swap Salford for Monaco. I don't think so. I actually don't think when everything is done and dusted and the Premier League announced that the fit and proper persons test and everything like that is all done, I don't think we're going to see much of Sir Jim Ratcliffe physically. I think it'll be mainly Sir David Brailsford doing all the appearance stuff. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be taking a back seat. Obviously, he's got a big role to play, but in terms of actually seeing him in and around Carrington, Old Trafford, match days and stuff like that, I don't think we'll see too much of him. I think he'll just carry on with his life, hopefully relying on Sir David Brailsford to take the reins and take United forward. 71, so old these days, could have another 25 years. He's not so old these days, could have another 25 years yet. I hope he does. Ratcliffe wants to live... Oh, I've read that one, sorry. Ineos wafflers, I want to see action. They can't do anything yet. All they can do at the moment is talk. And we talked about this yesterday, actually, in fact, that they cannot start making... They can't start making moves until everything is actually secure. So that's why I'm going to move on to the next bit of what was said yesterday. So Jim Ratcliffe accepted he would have to wait until the Premier League ratifies his deal for Manchester United. But once the expected approval arrives in around 6 weeks, the Ineos influence would begin in earnest. He said he and Dave Brailsford could then get into more of the detail of their aims, which the current situation limiting some of his candor. So yeah, he's left the message. He has spoke to staff. He's done everything he possibly can do with what has happened so far, i.e. just the announcement that Manchester United have accepted the deal with Ineos. When it's cleared and he is officially in place and in situ and he can start moving people around, then I feel like that is when we're going to have to start judging things, because I think that will be, like you said, actions rather than words. So all the talk is good. Erik ten Hag talking like everything is fantastic. I'm still not believing it. Not for his sake anyway. But yeah, plenty of talking. We'll start seeing the walking come the end of January, early February, I think. Several Manchester United staff in attendance on Thursday was similarly left feeling inspired but carrying caution about how Sir Jim Ratcliffe would put his plans into practice. It was felt that he and Dave Brailsford are applying pressure to perform, but also encouraging people to be part of the change. Already putting pressure on to perform was the message. Now, how they will implement that, again, we will know once everything is confirmed and they are in situ. So let's just wait out and see, and then judge them when they're actually in office at Old Trafford and Carrington, and then we'll see if they're going to back their words up. And their aim is, and when we talked about it last night with the likes of Dan Ashworth still being at Newcastle, no one said anything. No one's even come out from either club and mentioned anything along these lines. So I would expect the first things that happen when Sir David Brailsford takes situ, because it will be him running the ship, that the first big decisions and the first big breaking news is that we get for Manchester United will be the appointment of a Dan Ashworth. Manchester United moving quickly and paying whatever it's going to take to get the likes of Ashworth and the best in class in position. Obviously, we'll have a new CEO in Jean-Claude Blanc, which will be also announced as soon as the takeover or the 25% stake in United is confirmed. That will go in. So effectively, you've got top of the tree, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, chair and running everything is David Brailsford. CEO is going to be Jean-Claude Blanc. Next in line is obviously the director of football, and then a head of recruitment. The five-man team, we're hoping, past Jean-Claude Blanc, Dave Brailsford and Sir Jim Ratcliffe is Dan Ashworth and Paul Mitchell, or it might not be Paul Mitchell, it could be someone else. Obviously, we've talked about many a different candidates for the sporting director and recruitment role. Obviously, Dougie Freeman was another one as well. So there is plenty to get our teeth into when that comes. But I feel like that is going to be the first moves that we see being made by Sir Dave Brailsford. He's in charge of employing everyone and putting people in place. He's the one with that plan and being given the keys to Old Trafford, the keys to Manchester United by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So I think that's when we can start getting a little bit excited, or maybe not, if it doesn't turn out to be that good. But that, I feel, is the time when we start going, okay, I can see what the plan is. I can see what they're trying to do. Obviously, in the summer, when all of these contracts end and the full shake-up of the transfer structure starts kicking in, all eyes on United. Literally, all you're going to see, Sky, TalkSport, every media outlet, no one will care about anyone else. City could win the treble again, and no one will even be paying attention to it. They could do a double treble, and sorry, not with it. They're out of the Carabao Cup, aren't they? So yeah, it's the FA Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League. Manchester City could win the treble again, and the media attention wouldn't be on them. It would be on United, and now Ineos are applying their methods to Manchester United and trying to turn them around. City are not big news. They're not a big football club. A double treble, and there'll be more people watching what happens at Manchester United in the summer. I guarantee it. No one will give two hoots about what Manchester City's plans are and what they're doing because they're not big enough. All eyes are on Manchester United and this. This is how big it is. This is how massive it is. And I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to take it lightly at what he's got here, what he's invested into. I think he knows what he's getting himself in for. And this is why his team is going to be the strongest and the best in class in every single department to make sure that he can actually handle what is about to come, because it's a hell of a lot of pressure coming his way and a lot of scrutiny. The Glazers have handed over a 25-year mess to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and now he is going to need the best team possible to handle what pressure and what scrutiny is going to come his way. So that is the most important thing, and I feel like come the summer, expect the whole world of football to be looking in on what Manchester United are doing. Forget about everyone else's success. Forget about what investment Barcelona, Real Madrid. No one wants to know. All they want to know is, can Manchester United get back to winning trophies? Is this a false dawn and a massive investment and the biggest coup in world football business-wise for the Glazers? Or is there a serious chance that United and their plans going forward can bring them back to the top again? That is the excitement side of it, I feel. It's the intrigue and the unknown of, can they make this work or is it going to fail? Obviously, we don't want it to fail, but everyone is hyped up just to see what he does and how he handles everything that's coming his way. This is actually, for me, like real excitement. This is like proper, like, we are either I am never going to see Manchester United win a major trophy again in my lifetime, or I can see a plan where I actually might get to a Champions League final again. I'll be watching United on the final day, competing, or even picking up the Premier League trophy again. This is where we are at right now. And this is how big this is. So, them words that were said yesterday, he has to back that up now. This is one of the biggest pieces of news in world football ever. This is massive in terms of a future of one of the biggest football, the most expensive football, the most expensive sport enterprise in the world is Manchester United. We know that for a fact because the biggest bid was turned down for the football club. So Manchester United are the biggest in the world in sport, and everyone is going to be watching Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his team and trying to turn this mess around. Try tell me that's not big news. This is massive. And everyone, whether you like Sir Jim Ratcliffe's approach or not, you're going to have to accept that the intrigue is going to be there. And you are going to want to know, even if you're trying to bite it off and say, I'm not interested, we're doomed for life, like lots of people in the comments have said over many videos recently, you are going to be watching and you want to know what's going to happen. That is it. Let's get into the comments, guys. I've gone on long enough there. Sorry about that, but I just need to get my thoughts across. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm stupid. Please get into the chat. It's not all about me. It's about you guys as well. Bognor start us off. I believe Ten Hag is waiting for the next transfer window. He will get his brother's agency another few transfers. Then he will leave. I don't think he's going to get the opportunity. If you listen to what's been said and what's been reported, Ten Hag isn't going to have the same control as he's had in previous seasons. By the way, guys, we've just hit the 100 like mark. Thank you so much. Make sure you get involved in the poll. Make sure you like the video. And obviously, if you're tuning in for the first time, subscribe. I'm Adam. This is FUTV. Thank you for tuning in. We're into the chat at the moment, talking about what Sir Jim Ratcliffe's plans are. And my little mini, I wouldn't call it a rant, my little rallying cry, I would say, for all Manchester United fans. I'm clinging on to positivity this week. That was easy to do because we didn't play. So, yeah, watching United at the moment is the negative, isn't it? It really is. So, Jim ain't leaving Monaco. He's tax-free there, says Luca. Yep, 100%. Swap a yacht for a badge, says Madhouse. He isn't coming to Salford, guys. He's never going to be here. No one's going to leave Monaco for Manchester. I'm sorry. I love this city. I love where I live. But no one's leaving Monaco. I'm sorry. Ratcliffe was making Grenadice statements. Grenadice. Am I saying that wrong there? Sorry if I am. Statements like this with Nice. What have they won or achieved in 5 years of ownership? Absolutely nothing. Truth Seeker. I hope you voted on the poll. This is why I've said. Because in 5 years, they're actually doing well now. So this is why I've put the poll up. How long do you think it'll take United with their resources and their commercial grab and what money they might be able to generate if they actually run the club properly? Nice is a different entity altogether. So this is why I said, again, the intrigue and how long you think it's going to take. There is 3 to 5 year option there, which most people are saying is the most likely outcome. So here's another question for you guys, actually. Going off the poll, 3 to 5 years. What is success at Manchester United? Would you say competing for the league title is success in 3 to 5 years? Finishing second, is that successful? Is that a turnaround? Just competing, or do we need to start picking up trophies again? Give me a manager exactly what he wants in a player. Not a specific player, but prolific. I don't know what that was about, sorry. I think that's another conversation, Red. Simpson, I listened to Sir Dave on the CEO pod, on the podcast. I've never heard so many words saying absolutely nothing apart from Sky. I don't know. I mean, I've watched the same podcast, Diary of a CEO. I think it was mainly about him and his personal upbringing and how he came to where he is now. I don't necessarily think it was all baloney. I think there is passion there and a man that does know what he's talking about. I think he has learnt from the Nice experience, and this is why, obviously, like I said, he needs the right team around him for someone like Manchester United, because his whole career he's under the microscope right now because, like I said, all eyes are on Manchester United. So he has to get his team right. He has to put the right people in place. Otherwise, today with Brailsford, if you're going off the Diary of a CEO podcast interview with Stephen Bartlett, he is going to be kicking himself until he leaves this planet, until he leaves the earth, isn't it? Because not only is he very critical of his own results, but he cannot stand losing, if you listen to that. So with everyone watching him, I think it's going to be impossible for him to live with a failure of Manchester United. So, yeah, I feel looking at that and the way he is and how he's got through his own personal career from the bottom to the top, I don't think he feels he can fail at Manchester United. I feel like this is a massive challenge, not just for Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his commitment financially, but the reputation of everyone that they're bringing on board at Ineos. Everyone is going to be looked at now as like, are you the ones that are going to turn this sleeping giant back around again? If it is Dan Ashworth, his reputation, Paul Mitchell's, Dave Brailsford, Jean-Claude Blanc, and in fact Sir Jim Ratcliffe, this could finish them as well. This could be a massive, massive blot on their CVs and their whole careers if they don't turn Manchester United around. It is absolutely immense, the task at hand, and it is going to take a full-on team effort. And like they said, these rallying cries, these conversations, these meetings with the staff, every single person at United has to be on board with this. From the top to the bottom, playing staff, recruitment, coaches, manager, staff, CEOs, everything has to be as one. Otherwise, it is going to be the biggest disaster class ever. Passion and commitment and graft is what I want from the players. He's going to have to get that out of them. I think a few of them have to go because they just haven't got it. Without billions invested, we got no chance, says Leo. There's a lot of negativity going around right now, isn't there? There is. I'm not saying it's wrong. Who am I to say a negative outlook is wrong right now? It is that way with United, and that's just what they've given us over the last few years. We can't look at it any other way, really. You have to be digging deep like I am right now to try and find a positive out of Manchester United because it isn't there. Success in time, we lift the Premier League, says Barry. That's more like it, Barry. I like it. Alistair says, I think as long as it's honest and not taking corners, or cutting corners, you should say, we don't want to be in the same predicament as Manchester City with fair play rules. I don't think there's any chance we're going to fall into that category of cooking books or trying to cheat our way to the top. I think Manchester United definitely are a club that work under the guidelines and under all of the rules and regs, and obviously profitability and sustainability rules with the Premier League, as well as financial fair play with UEFA. We've already been stung by UEFA and fined for our annuals from the last financial year. So I don't think there's any chance that Manchester United will be falling into the trap that, well, it's not a trap. City just thought they could just do what they wanted. So, yeah, I don't think we're anywhere near that. I think we will always be above board at Manchester United. Not doing bad on the likes, guys. Let's give the video a like. Let's get up to that 200 mark, please. We're going to definitely get over 200 on this show, so please do give the video a like. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. And if you did want to be a member and contribute to the channel, the join button is just there below the screen. If you can't see it on that one, if you drop down into the description of the video, the membership link is there next to the subscribe and next to the store links as well. Right there at the top of the description bar, guys. So go check that out as well. Things can change quickly. With a changing culture, a good transfer dealings, there's no reason we can't get back in the game in a couple of years, says Darren. Paul D, we need to stop selling players at a loss. That needs to change. Yeah, Graham, trying to apply for the last tickets for Wigan. Website thinks I'm a robot. Unlucky, Graham, mate. I wouldn't say you're a robot, pal. I wouldn't. But, yeah. Good luck with that one. Let me know later how you get on, Gray. Cheers. Nick Sparks. Adam, would you get rid of Rashford? If the right price came in, everyone is for sale, I think. If Rashford isn't working, then we need to look at possibilities, yes. I believe there is more in Rashford. We've seen it. That's the only difference I feel right now with Rashford. I feel, because we've seen what he did last season, because he literally carried Manchester United's goal-scoring figures last season on his own. I feel like there is something there, but if I see Rashford perform like he has done so far this season for the rest of this season, I would be, if we get a decent bid for Rashford, I would be selling him. I think we have to start looking practically at everything as well, Nick. So, yes, if the right offer came in, I would be open to selling Marcus Rashford, unless he really changes his attitude and the way he conducts himself on the pitch, because he's been, for me, a disgrace this season. I've said that many a times. I really have. Let me just see. The damage the Glazer scumbags have done to this club will be felt for the next 50 to 100 years. Yep. Would you be worried about that damage if United were winning trophies, Dobie? Would you class that as damage if we're actually winning on the pitch? That's the question in all of this, isn't it? No one's really complaining unless the football's crap and we're doing bad, which we are doing, so everyone's complaining. Time to clean house, says ES Clad. Rafe, Ten Hag had a pass last year because of the Premier League final position. There is no progress in terms of playing style or player improvements, we have moved significantly backwards now that others have improved. Yes, we are going backwards on the pitch, and teams are flying past us right now. It is a worry, and it needs turning around very, very quickly. I'm not going to go into it again because there's other things to talk about in the show, but the previous few shows, if you go and watch them, I've set out my worries and concerns with Ten Hag. I actually feel like he needs to get Champions League football next season or he will be sacked. I don't see how Manchester United can be sustainable under Ineos without success and money coming in from the football side of things. Yes, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said success is based on the trophies that you win, but trophies in footballs these days also brings money. So without it, they ain't going to be able to implement their plan. Manchester United have to be successful. Yes, they will have put aside a grace period while everything gets going and the full culture and restructure gets put in place. You don't, and I can't expect anything in the next year actually happening of any significance for Manchester United on the pitch. Maybe we will see little improvements here and there, and then gradually it will grow. But the one thing that everyone's getting carried away of, and obviously I love to hear it as well, it's not about the financial gain for Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It's about winning trophies. But you also have to think from a business side, if we are winning trophies and we are at the top table again, it means success is also bringing money into Manchester United. You can't deny that. Better deals come through because we are competing at the highest level. We're on TV more. Commercial revenues go up as always. And success in trophies brings success off the pitch financially as well. So you could have said it both ways. Manchester United need to win because we need to earn money. He's tucked it in a little bit and put a little sweetener on it, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and said, look, we're in this for the trophies. Yes, of course you are, because you're in control of the sporting side of Manchester United. You haven't got as much, if any, say on the commercial side of the football club. So, of course you're going to say it's all about the trophies, because that's the only way Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I feel, can see any gain on his investment at Manchester United. He has to make it work on the pitch and he has to be successful. And that means winning the Champions League. That means getting these lucrative commercial deals. That means being in competitions for longer so we can get gate receipts and bigger match day revenues. This is all going to be, and when we see Manchester United's commercial and match day revenues from this season, they're going to be significantly down from what we've had before because we're not in any competitions anymore. From now to the end of the season, we're pretty much, with the FA Cup, one game a week. That's unheard of for Manchester United. Having all this game time, having all this training time and no games, that's crazy. But yes, trophies is only currency that matters, says Stephanie. Liam Whitehouse, players join for sensible money as well because they want to come here. Vidic took a pay cut initially. That's what you breed. You breed that type of positivity. You breed that type of winning mentality. If you're successful and you're willing to put the work in, you will get rewarded ultimately in the end. It was the whole Sir Alex Ferguson method. If you commit to this club and you give me everything, the riches will come automatically. That's the culture that Manchester United need to bring. That's the culture that Ineos are looking to bring. It's like not bringing in the Galacticos and paying them big, big money straight away for zero success. Adding accountability for poor performances on and off the pitch. This is everything that Sir Alex Ferguson had. You got the money if you were successful. You got the rewards if you put the effort in. That's what Manchester United have fallen away from. And that's what needs to be brought back to this football club. Otherwise, we are going to be looking at the same results that we have done for the last 10 years. This is why all the big earners are leaving. This is why they're cutting all of this off right now. And they are going to restructure everything and bring in players like we've spoke about recently. The cheaper, younger players, developing players, bringing more into the infrastructure in the training ground and the youth system. That's what Ineos are talking about here, I feel. And I think that is the only way and the only key to success for Manchester United moving forward. Let's get into a couple more because I do need to move on with some other news as well. I like to bring you everything. Win it all again? No chance. All the players are crap. That's like I just said, Mark. You've looked at the headline and jumped straight in there with a comment. I appreciate the comment, Mark. I really do. Thanks for joining the show, by the way. But yeah, we talked in detail about how we get back to that. It's not a fast fix. Definitely not. Get Rashford gone, says Rafe. Let's check on the poll, guys, and see where we're at. So, how long, if you haven't joined the poll already, do click on it and get involved. How long under Ineos until United are competing at the highest level again? We've got 4 options. Next season, 2 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, and even longer than that. Even longer is at 25%. 3 to 5 years is the most popular right now with the fans. 3 to 5 years till United are picking up major trophies again. 2 to 3 years on next season, 9%. Some are actually very confident that we're going to get an instant reaction from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Madhouse says 20 to 30 million, clever transfer is the way. Yep, that's the sort of price tag we're looking at right now. And everyone that we've been linked with is around that price tag, aren't they? So, yeah, Martial haters are clueless. Not so much hate, just stating facts. He's not reliable. He's not been great on the pitch. He hasn't contributed to the team for gone 5 years. So it's not so much hate, Koa. It's facts and figures, and he doesn't contribute. So, yeah, that it's not, like I said, nothing against him, but he's failed, like a lot of other players. But his contract is up at the end of the season. That's why we're talking about him probably a little bit more. Bloody good job. I am not a robot. I am a free man. Still booted out of the ticket application. It doesn't count if you're real, Graham, then. They've just binned you anyway, mate. Chubbed again, Gray. Chubbed again. It's a disgrace. It is. Real fans can't get tickets anymore. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I do want to talk about some other stuff that is doing the rounds. Like I said before, some people would have you think the Jadon Sancho deal is all done and dusted. It's not. It's very close, but it is definitely not all signed, sealed and delivered. We could be looking at this weekend. There were rumours that a private jet was cancelled last minute for Jadon Sancho, which was going to take him to the Marbella training camp where Dortmund are preparing for their season to kickstart again after the winter break. So, yeah, Sancho, everything is moving along still positively, and we should be hearing an update soon. But as far as done deal, no, it's not. So settle down. Yeah, anyone telling you it's done is lying to you. Martial not getting a new deal. I want to talk about what happened yesterday. We did say on the show yesterday, Martial is getting a new deal. He is. I just don't think it's going to be at United. The worrying thing yesterday was that the worrying thing yesterday was that Erik ten Hag mentioned Martial's name when he didn't need to. That's why everyone went into meltdown mode and started going, why is he even talking about Martial? Outlets went crazy. Sky reporting it with a yellow bar at the bottom. United are looking into extending Martial's contract, giving him a new one alongside Varane. It's not true. The rumours coming out were a long time ago, a couple of months ago. I think it was David Ornstein from The Athletic again said it, that United will not trigger Martial's 1-year extension on the end of this contract. They are not willing to pay him $250,000 a week for doing nothing. Well, they didn't say that. That's what I said. And that's my issue with Martial. But, yeah, it's not happening. I think Manchester United and what they are doing, looking at it, I'm guessing a little bit as well here, they're trying to help him move along and give him the best options going forward, i.e. trying to help him find another club, hopefully. Because if it didn't happen that way, this fan base would be at war with each other. Because Martial is the biggest opinion divider ever in this football club. He should have gone a long time ago. It was never working for him and the signs were there. How this club have just let this go on is just beyond. But this is something I feel that will change under Ineos and we won't be getting this scenario again. So that is that. Martial, don't get too carried away with what happened yesterday. It still looks like he's going to be off skis in the summer. Varane future in the balance. Samuel Lucas from the MM was talking about this. It's basically 50-50 with Varane if he even goes in January right now. It's an uncertainty with him and it could go either way. Ten Hag did talk about Varane and the conversation got overshadowed by the Martial comment. But they are talking with Varane to give him a cut-down contract. We all think he's not going to sign it because it's nowhere near what he's on now. And I don't think anyone right now is going to take a pay cut at Manchester United who's on that money while he's still at the football club. You look at the stats this season, he's our best performing defender by a country mile. And he hasn't played enough games, in my opinion. So everything backs Varane up for being our best defender stat-wise as well, even for this season and 2 previous seasons as well. But if we lose him, do we need to bring in another defender? Can we survive the 20-odd games max that we could have left this season? I don't know. Honestly, I think we need to bring a centre-back in personally. But it is on a knife edge, 50-50. There is interest from Saudi. And obviously, if Bayern Munich free up the cash, they would be interested in bringing him in as well. So I think we need to keep a close eye on Varane this month. I think it's a long countdown because we're only on the 5th of January. But Manchester United need to be prepared if Varane does say, look, I'm gone. Because he can accept anything right now. And also, he can accept a free transfer away from Manchester United in the summer with someone and just say no. So, tough one. Very tough one. Interest in Palestri on loan as well. So, with Sancho going, leaving us just Antony and Ahmad. If Palestri, because Flamengo are interested in Palestri, they want to take the 22-year-old out on loan for the rest of the season. So, would you let Palestri go out on loan? Honestly, would you let him go? I don't really want Palestri to go out on loan. Some people say it's good if he does. He's 22. He's getting past that loan out every single season mark now. He's getting older. So, for me, I would say Palestri stay. I think it's between Ahmad and Palestri who actually goes out on loan. Sancho's gone, but that's not making a difference here and there because he wasn't contributing anything anyway. So Sancho out of here, Palestri or Ahmad. I think Palestri's earned his he's earned his opportunity to come into the first team at some point. I do. I don't think it would be fair. Maybe they want to see Ahmad though. I'm torn between the two. They want to see what he can do. Can he contribute? I think Ahmad would have been in the team if he didn't get injured in pre-season, personally. I think he's ahead of Palestri in the eyes of Ten Hag and the coaching staff. But Palestri has done well this season, so I don't know. I wouldn't let Palestri go, personally, but I can see why they are. I think this has to be his last loan, though. They need to make a decision with Palestri. 22 now, he's getting to that age where you're expecting to see the finished article, really. When you start getting to that 22, 23, 24 sort of stage of your career, you either got it or you haven't. You can tell what type of player you are. I just don't think we're going to see him get games at United still. So really, does it push the argument that he needs to go out on loan again? Hanwell got his extension. What about Gore, loan? Any news, Adam? Nothing yet. Manchester United are weighing up their options. I think Dan Gore is definitely going to go out on loan now. So too, Joe Hugel as well. I think they're players that are attracting interest. We heard the interest from Dortmund for Dan Gore. So I don't think there's any link at all between Sancho playing in the under-21s recently or training with him and Dan Gore and them both going Dortmund. But I would love to see Dan Gore go off to an outfit like Dortmund and learn his trade there and get some game time at the highest level. That would be excellent for him. And you know what? You could be bringing back another midfielder that is going to help you next season, that would help the finances and us not needing to go out and buy another midfielder. Another midfielder that United could go out and buy, according to reports. We talked about it last night. Zambrano, the Ecuadorian young midfielder, which is attracting a lot of attention. Manchester United are definitely interested. They have registered they're interested in 5.5 million for the young Ecuadorian holding midfielder. The new Caicedo, they're saying that this guy is. He's absolutely over the moon, apparently, according to reports that there is a Manchester United link. But United have to move fast again. It's the same scenario as it was with Caicedo. We did want Caicedo, but Brighton moved quicker and got the deal done. United can't be waiting around, can't be just waiting for that right opportunity or that right moment. They have to go and get him now because there's 3 other Premier League teams, including Brighton again and Luton, in fact, that are going for Zambrano. I don't think he comes straight into the team. I think United could sweeten this and just say, look, we're going to buy you, and then you go back out on loan to your parent club. To your current club for the rest of the season. Bring him in pre-season, see what he's made of. We've got a lot of players coming back from loan as well, don't forget, in pre-season that maybe under another manager, if Ten Hag fails, could be thinking they've got a chance at Manchester United. So, yeah, I do feel like United are going to be moving in their markets, but I think they're going to be closely looking at and making sure they get their younger players, the ones that are going out on loan, out to the right sort of clubs that are going to really benefit their progression and help them move forward to the next level. Guys, like the video, please. Let's get to that 200 mark before we finish up, everyone. We cannot be far away from that now. Please give the video a like. Anyone in the chat right now, that would be fantastic. I'm going to close the poll now anyway. Well over 400 votes. And most people think it will be a 3 to 5 year project before Ineos start seeing any success with their new structure coming in. So cheers very much for entering the poll, guys. A couple more comments. Maybe the biggest problem is not having a keeper that can keep. Paul Lucas says, Adam, look at our attack record. Manchester United recruitment team are incapable of moving fast. The word doesn't exist in their vocabulary. But it may be changing now. That's what we'll look at, I think, and that's what we'll judge. 200 likes. Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers for all your contributions again. Marcos Leonardo, gone to Benfica, will be worth 80 million soon. Yep, I don't doubt it. Just like Silva and that 87 million bid that's gone in from Chelsea. They know how to do it. Maybe Manchester United should start jumping on this bandwagon. Then if anyone wants to come and take our players, we might actually start making money off players as well. You never know. I think Garnacho sets the standard. We've got him nailed down to that 5-year contract now. He's going to be worth a fortune in 5 years. Manchester United have got themselves a security blanket. So that's how we need to be. I'm not saying that every European player dreams of playing his whole career out at United. We've seen it before. A lot of players want to move to Spain and Madrid and try it out. So Manchester United need to be aware of this. It needs to be a very similar scenario what we've had with Ronaldo when we sold him for 80 million. That's the sort of position we need to be putting ourselves in, I feel. But guys, yeah, that is it for today. Everything covered. All the reaction from the Ineos meetings this week. Sancho not quite done yet. It isn't a here we go. Definitely not. Varane is 50-50. Could go in January. Manchester United looking at loaning out Palestri possibly. And Zambrano is attracting attention from a lot of other Premier League clubs. So United need to move fast. Those are your headlines for this morning, guys. We will be back later on at 6:30. Please join us then. We have a ball on the 6:30 show. So looking into the weekend, looking forward, looking ahead to football coming back. And obviously plenty more gossip coming from United today, I'm sure, as there always is. Sorry if I didn't get a chance to read your message out. There is so many. I'll try my best to get everyone's in, but I'll do more. And it will be a full-on interaction show later this evening, guys. So if you've got any questions or anything like that, write them down, save them up, and join me again at 6:30, where we'll be getting into it all over again, guys. But for now, like, share, and subscribe to FUTV. Check out the shop. Be a member if you want to. The link is all there in the description below. And we'll see you all later.